everybody. Hey, what's up? It's TC Cooper from FaithFocusFlow.com. Thank you for being here with me on this live stream. I'm super excited that you're here. Okay, I think I've shared. So if you've watched the past couple of live streams, you know that I am testing out a brand new tool for broadcasting. And so here is something that I've noticed about the last two broadcasts that I've done, and we'll see if I can fix it in this broadcast, and that is I'm looking everywhere. So if I notice when I watch the replay that it appears that I am looking everywhere, and that's because there are a lot of things happening on this screen. Well, there are not a ton of things. There are a few things happening on this screen. My nieces are learning about hyperbole, so I want to make sure that I did not use a hyperbole by telling you that there are like a million things happening. Not a million things, but there's several things to look at. And so I am going to make an effort to look at what I think. So you may see a little bit of me figuring out, I think that looking where I am right now is how I look at you. But forgive me if that's not the case. We'll get it right. So welcome to another episode of the Faith Focus Flow Show. I'm thrilled that you're here. This message, today's live stream is all about discipline. If you are on our newsletter list, and I hope that you are, then I'll show you. I have show and tell, right? Then you received our newsletter for this morning. And in the newsletter, I shared that our focus word at Faith Focus Flow for this month of October is discipline. Our focus word for this month of October is discipline. And in the newsletter, I shared 5 reasons discipline is our focus word and why discipline is so important in business. And I gave 5 Bible verses to support it. Now, because I sent it out in our newsletter, and if you're on the newsletter list, you've already got it. I will not go through those 5 things. I will share the 5 Bible verses, though, because I want you to leave this broadcast being aware of how we are anchoring our month of discipline at Faith Focus Flow. If you want the newsletter, DM me, regardless of the platform that you're watching this on, be it Periscope or Facebook or YouTube. Send me a DM if you want access to the newsletter that I sent out this morning, outlining 5 reasons that discipline, 5 reasons for making discipline our focus for the month, and 5 reasons that gives you some context about why you might want to consider doing the same thing, in 5 Bible verses. But let's start this episode off with the 5 Bible verses to help anchor making discipline a focus for your work this month. And then I'm going to tell you how we are being more disciplined in our actions at Faith Focus Flow. As always, you know I have a tool to help you, and we have an Aligned for Impact program. It's not aligned, sorry, it's Aligned to Impact program, and it's teaching you all of the aspects of being aligned in your work so that you can have a greater impact for your bottom line, and most especially for the kingdom. In our Aligned to Impact program, there is a spreadsheet that teaches you and helps you, supports you in being more disciplined. I'm covering that spreadsheet in this episode of the Faith Focus Flow Show. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. But first, let me give you the Bible verses that I shared in our newsletter this morning to anchor this decision to focus on discipline. So the first Bible verse that I want you to think about, write it down, is 2 Timothy 1st chapter, the 7th verse. I'm not going to read it. You can write it down, or you can get on our newsletter and you'll have it in your inbox around 4:30 your time. The second Bible verse I want you to think about is Proverbs 10th chapter, the 17th verse. So I want you to consider Proverbs 10th chapter, the 17th verse, as you think about making discipline a focus in your business for this month. The third Bible verse, Proverbs 12th chapter, the 1st verse. The next, 1 Corinthians 9th chapter, the 24th through the 27th verse. And the final passage in the Bible, the 5th and the final for rooting our month in discipline, Christ-centered discipline, comes from the book of James. So James, 2nd chapter, the 14th through the 17th verse. So there you have 5 Bible verses that are responsible for anchoring our decision to make discipline the focus for our month here at Faith Focus Flow. That's for me, and it's for our team, and is what we're helping our communities do also, be more focused. Okay, so now, that's great, right? You may be saying, TC, that's wonderful. You're right. We should all be more disciplined. Well, how do we do it? In what areas should we be disciplined? How do we structure this discipline so that it's actually impactful for our influence and for our income and for our impact, right? How do we structure discipline? So in our Align program, and if you join the program, you get this in a beautiful spiral bound packaging. We have a section, and I'm showing you, I'm doing show and tell because I love show and tell. That's what I loved when I was in school, show and tell. So I'm showing you kind of what the deliverables are as I take you through the content in a way that I know will be useful. So one of the best ways to be disciplined in your actions is to outline what key actions you need to take or what key areas of focus you need to concentrate on to move the needle in your work, right? So now we have a whole separate program on making a decision about what it means to move the needle in your work. But for now, what's important for you to know is that you have to have areas of focus or key things that you're going to do that you need to move the needle, and then you're disciplined in those core things. Here is what I'm sharing with you today is how to set up your week. I've already shared with you how to set up your day, the 4 quadrant framework for setting up your day. So now let's talk about setting up your week. Every day of the week, I suggest, should have a theme. That's what we do. Every day of the week has a theme. It helps us to decide what is the key central area that we want to nurture and care, that we want to be disciplined in nurturing and caring for that day, so that our week is productive and we have done all of the things that we need to do to be as successful as we would like to be, so that we can have the impact that God has made it clear that we can have, right? We show up, we do our work. Faith without works is dead. So our faith is not dead because we are aligning our actions and our work. So here is the outline of how I'm going to consider that you focus your week. Start with Sunday, right? Start with Sunday. Now for some people, anyway, we're not going to do that. Start with Sunday. So for us, and let me flip this actually. The way that we've outlined this, I start with Sunday, but depending on your religious practices, you can flip the focus for Sunday and Saturday and Sunday based on your personal needs. See how good God is? We outline that in a way where Saturday and Sunday, the focal points are interchangeable based on your needs, based on your religious practices, based on your spiritual practices, based on how you want to flow in your weekend. So I'm giving you our framework. I'm going to start with Sunday. You listen to it all and know that Saturday and Sunday are interchangeable based on your personal needs, desires, habits, practices, okay? So starting with Sunday, for us, is Spirit-Led Sunday. Spirit-Led Sunday is a day that we are reflective on those things that matter to our heart, where I worship on Sundays most of the time, sometimes Saturday night, but usually Sunday. So it's a day that I am committed to focusing intently, right? Because I do it every morning, but focusly, really intently on worshiping, on spiritual practices, on renewing my spirit and my heart, with connecting with people who share my faith. It is a spirit-led day. So I call it Spirit-Led Sunday. And I'll read to you the description that we have it in our program, right? On Spirit-Led Sundays, this is a wonderful day to focus on your spirit and your soul. Nurture and renew your focus on making here on earth more like heaven through the good works you were created to do in the marketplaces and the workplaces, right? So Spirit-Led Sunday is a day that you are committed to really focusing and nourishing and caring for your soul, for your spirit, for Holy Spirit who lives within you, right? And lives within all of us. So the second, Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays is a day that I am intentional about connecting with my mentors. It's a day that I am intentional about delving into whatever personal development program that I am invested in at the time. Now, personal development is a part of my everyday practice, but on Mindful Mondays, I'm intentional about giving it extra time, right? Extra time to connect with my mentors, extra time to focus on being mindful for how I have set up my week ahead, making sure that there are no blind spots or gaps that I'm not paying attention to, that I'm not aware of, right? It is a day to be mindful about my personal development and mindful about how I am approaching our business. Mindful Mondays, right? I'm disciplined about Mindful Mondays and having, some people call it Mentor Mondays. That's fine. We call it Mindful Mondays. Tuesdays, Talk to Me Tuesday. I'm recording this live stream on a Tuesday. We call it Talk to Me Tuesday. Talk to Me Tuesday is a day that we are focused on really connecting with people in our community. That could be in our social media community, in our private groups, in our training groups. That's from the business side. On the personal side, it's people who I love, who I'm friends with. It's a day that I can schedule things like birthday cards and other types of things. I have to, full disclosure, it's really just been in the past probably 2 months that I've gotten really serious about Talk to Me Tuesday and making it a focal day, a focal point. Again, our word for the month here at Faith Focus Flow is discipline. So we are increasing. We're not perfect by a long stretch, right? So we're increasing our discipline in these key areas that I'm giving you. We have started it, and so we are fine-tuning our discipline. So Talk to Me Tuesday is what I offer to you because it is what we've been doing and it's been working. It is a day to be mindful, to talk to those people who are supporting your work and talking to those people who you would like to support your work. And it's a day of talking to those people whose work you support, right? Talk to Me Tuesdays. It's the day that you focus on your communication output. And we go through this in depth in the program, how to structure your Talk to Me Tuesday, the segments and groups of people who you want to make sure you are speaking with, talking. I said Talk to Me Tuesday because it's kind of cute, right? But it's really you're talking with the people who you are connected with. It's not a to, it is with, but because it's a cute, catchy title, we'll say Talk to Me Tuesdays, right? Got it? It's the day that you are interacting and connecting with the people who are in your community. And you're disciplined about it. You're intentional about it. So you have a day set out to do it. That's Talk to Me Tuesday. Let's talk about Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesdays. So if you recall, and if you don't, go back and look at our past broadcast, but if you recall, one of the things that I suggest, and I don't have it with me right here, I do have it, that you do every day as you're framing your day. Here's that sheet. You'll see right here. It says create, right? So you are to create every day. I believe that you need to have a day of the week where you really are focused on creating in bulk. So every day you should be creating something. And that something can be short and sweet. Like I said, it can be a journal entry. It can be something for yourself that you will share at a later time that's appropriate. But I want you to get into the habit of creating every day. But I also want you to have a central day during your week where you have a block of time. I'm not talking about time blocking in this training, but we teach it in our Align to Impact program, how to time block. So your time block for Wednesday is around wisdom. This is the day that you are sharing your wisdom. This is the day that I'm going to encourage you to be disciplined about blocking off time, like 2 hours if you can. Make it a part of your practice to write content. It is a day that you're going to write a lot of content that will set you up for the week ahead, perhaps for the month ahead, depending on how you plan out your content. Wisdom Wednesdays is the day that you are intentional about sharing your wisdom. So let me tell you, we're going to take a quick break. I have to decide how comfortable and transparent I'm going to be with my whole kind of personal situation in these live streams. But here's what I've noticed. I got to fix my lighting, right? It's a whole big glare, huge glare. But I have like a little powder brush. I'm going to just, okay, y'all just ignore me. I'm going to just like because what I want us to be is total family here in the live streams, because that's how my live streams used to be. So I just did a little get the shine off. All right. That was a little commercial break so I could get the shine off of my face. So let's keep on rolling, because I don't want to take a ton of your time in this broadcast. And I want to get through this so that you can think about implementing more discipline into your work by using these focus days that I'm sharing. So Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesdays is the day for writing, right? Tailor It Thursday. I love this. Tailor It Thursday is the day that we have dedicated to editing our work. Editing is an important part of writing, right? So the goal is for you to have a day that you are writing, and then have another day you let it sit for a while and you come back and you edit what you've written. That's important to do whenever you can, because when you edit what you've written and you've given it a day, or you know what, depending on what your writing schedule is, you may give it a week, right? Because you know that you're going to write every day, and you know that you're going to, write a lot every day. And I say write, it could be record videos. It could be however it is that you are sharing your content with the world, that you're creating pieces of information, wisdom that you're going to share, right? Even if you're a professional working in your career, it might be that you use LinkedIn as a way to share nuggets of information that are important for the people in your career. So if you know you're going to write, focus writing day every week, focus editing day every week, you can either edit the work that you wrote the day before, or you can get into a workflow where you're editing the work that you wrote a week ago, which gives you even more time to sit with it, so that when you come back, you're coming back to what you've created with fresh eyes. And with fresh eyes, you are then editing it. It's also the day that you can schedule that information for yourself, or you can send it over to your VA. Or if you have a professional editor in your business, I suggest that you write your work and you do the first rounds of edit. And on Tailor It Thursday, you've done your work, you know that it's good, and so you're ready to either send it to the person in your organization who's responsible for publishing content. You can schedule the publishing of the content yourself using tools that we teach in our Align program, or you can send it off to a professional editor if you have, or a professional communications person, if you have that resource in your company. So Tailor It Thursday is a day for self-editing and then moving your content to the next step. Either you schedule the publishing, you send it to someone in your company to schedule the publishing, or you send it to a professional in your company to do a final round of editing. All right, that's Tailor It Thursday. Financial Fridays. My goodness, Financial Fridays, very important. And I have to admit, it's a day that I have had to be disciplined about implementing in our business. And so what you focus on grows. And if you don't focus on it, it won't grow. That's a basic truth, right? What you focus on will grow. Where you place your attention, that is going to grow. It's going to show the fruit of being nurtured by your attention, by the attention that's sown into it. So if you want your finances to grow, you've got to focus on them. We do that on Fridays. We do it on Financial Fridays. So finally, the last day of the week for us, Saturday, right? Depending on your practices, might be the first day for you. Either or, it doesn't matter. Remember, at the beginning of this, I told you that what I share about focus days on Saturdays and Sundays can be interchanged. So for me, Saturdays is self-care Saturdays. It's a day. Now, I do work. I do generally have a little bit of work that I want to get done on Saturdays, but for the most part, I am focused on doing something that is that is nurturing for me. Right? I think about treats for me, about things that bring me joy personally. And so I call it Self-Care Saturdays. There is a block of focus time on Saturdays, on Self-Care Saturdays, that I use to care for myself. Now that can be Saturday for you. It can be Sunday for you. If Self-Care Saturday is your Saturday, like it's mine, then you have Spirit-Led Sundays. If you decide Spirit-Led Saturdays is for you, then you have Self-Care Sundays. Got it? Got it. All right. That's it for this broadcast. I hope this has been helpful. So again, what I taught about, or the message for our newsletter today was discipline. I shared with you at the beginning of this broadcast the 5 scripture anchors for that message. If you want the entire message, DM me, regardless whatever platform you're on. DM me DM me, or do that, right? Because that way I'll have your email address, and I want you to put it out in the comment section for the world to see. DM me. Someone from my team will make sure that we send that message over to you as soon as we can, and we will ask you if you want to get on our e-newsletter list. I highly suggest that you do. We send out fantastic information. So that is an action point for you to make sure you get on the list. And the other thing I want to share, what else did I want to share? That's it. I just shared this flow. We teach it in our Align to Impact program. We're going to be opening the doors for that program coming up. I think on 10/10/2020, that Saturday, we're going to have a soft doors open. And so I invite you to pay attention. Pay attention to the broadcast here. Get on our list so I can tell you more about that. You really want to be in the program. It's really outstanding, right? And it's not just because I created it. It's Holy Spirit inspired. God gave me all of this work because, T.C. Cooper would not have been able to create it and organize it all totally myself. So it is certainly Christ-centered, Holy Spirit guided. So in this, there's like a whole program. This is like part 1. And then part 2 is over here where we have various tools. It's in a whole it's an outline. It's a program that walks you through how to be more aligned in your life so that you can have a greater impact in your work. Okay, that's what we're teaching. That's it for today. Thank you for being here. I hope this was super helpful. Let me know if this was helpful in the comments below. I would appreciate hearing from you, and I'll see you on our next broadcast, okay? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Now, let me try something. This is a new platform, like I shared. I have a countdown to start I don't have it yet. Okay, so listen, make sure you watch our next broadcast because we are working on having an outro for the broadcast the same way that we have an intro for the broadcast. So be on the lookout for that. If not tomorrow, then the day after. Y'all have a fantastic, fantastic day or night or morning, depending on at what time you're watching this and where you are in the world. Much love to you. Bye.